Hi friends, it's me Nikki here, and I am here with a challenge. VELVEETA challenged me to come up with a recipe using some secret ingredients that they would send to me, so I would not be privy to what the ingredients were until I received this box. So I'm going to jump in this box to see what ingredients I must use in my recipe. I can add ingredients, but I must include these ingredients. And so the first thing we see when we open the box here is, of course, we see our VELVEETA cheese. And so this is going to be one of the primary ingredients that I have to use in the recipe. So easy one there. I'm good with that one. The next one is barbecue sauce. So that's another ingredient that I must use, along with the black beans. They also sent me a gift card to go purchase my poultry, which had to be ground turkey. And in the box there were also these recipe cards, which were neat, so I can add these to my recipe binder there. So I loved getting these also. So now it's time to put on that thinking cap and create the recipe. And my sis and I, we sat around and we had such a great time thinking of recipes and coming up with something. And so what we came up with is actually a dual recipe. So you're getting two recipes in one, so it works great. And so we're using our ground turkey here. I'm also going to use a can of corn. You can use fresh corn if you want. Also, that VELVEETA cheese, of course, is required. Salt and pepper, cilantro, taco seasoning. And you can make your taco seasoning yourself if you choose to do that, along with cumin. And we also have some tomatoes and onion, French bread, and also some mountain bread. And the recipe will be linked below if you're interested, both of them. Now we're going to make what we called and named a Fiesta roll, along with a Fiesta bowl. Great for the fall. We thought this would be a nice warm dish, so let's jump right in. In a saucepan over medium-high heat, you want to heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You want to add in your ground turkey, and you want to kind of chop it up and begin to start to brown it. In a separate saucepan, you want to cube your VELVEETA cheese, and you want to add it to the saucepan and begin to melt over medium heat. Now you want to watch this carefully and stir often as it starts to melt, and this you want to completely melt it down. As your ground turkey begins to brown slightly, you want to add in your onions, your salt, your pepper, and you want to give it a nice little toss and continue to brown the meat. And then once it's brown, you want to add in about 1/4 of that barbecue sauce. We're going to give that little boost of flavor. And this is one of those required ingredients that I have to use in my recipe. And so then you want to give it a nice toss. You want to add in your taco seasoning. And you want to give that a nice toss also, and just get everything blended. What I wanted to do with this recipe is for it to have a lot of flavor, to have a lot of kick, and to really just be delicious. And it really did go over well, and it did not last long in my house, and that made me really happy. And so once you give it a nice toss, just continue to let it brown, and then we're going to add in the other ingredients. Okay, then you want to drain and add in your canned corn, and feel free to use fresh corn or whatever your frozen corn. You then want to chop up your tomatoes and add those into the mixture also, and give it a nice little soft toss there, and basically just getting everything blended together. We're going to drain our black beans, our required ingredient there, and add that in. And as you can see, this is coming together. And the thought process my sis and I had with this is we wanted it to have a lot of flavor and kick, so we're adding those peppers in, and you can add as much kick as you want or as little as you do as you want, and you chop it up, and you're going to mix it in well. And then from that point, we're going to add in the yummy VELVEETA cheese, and this is going to bring everything together. So once it's fully melted, you want to add it into your mixture and give it a nice toss. Now let's prep our bread. Now for the first one, we're doing the Fiesta roll. What we're going to do is we're going to slice our bread so that we can fill it. And I use Lynn's from Lynn's recipe. She posted a great tutorial on how to do this, and so I'm using her technique here. And so you're just cutting off the ends of your French bread and then cutting it into 4 pieces. You're then going to hollow out the center of the French bread, and by cutting it into the 4 pieces, it makes it a lot more simpler to hollow out the bread. And I love this technique here, so it really worked well. I'll link her video below where she shares that with us if you're interested, but love that. And so again, we're just going to hollow out the bread, and like she said in her video, you can use the interior of the bread that you hollow out and make croutons or something like that. You know, definitely don't let it go to waste. Okay, now that we have our French bread hollowed out, it's time to put it on our baking pan on some parchment paper and fill it with our mixture. And so basically you're going to take each piece of the French bread and you're going to fill it with that mixture, and then you put it back together on your pan. Now from that point, you're going to take an egg and you're going to whisk it well. I added a little herb seasoning to it just to give another pop of flavor, brushed it on the outside, baked it on 375 for about 10 to 12 minutes till the crust got nice and brown, and it is delicious. Now for the Fiesta bowl, you're going to use your round bread. I have my mountain bread here, and I'm going to show you how to cut this so that you can have it as a bowl. I did this in a tutorial a few years back, but I'm going to do it again to share with you in this recipe. But what you're going to do is simply going to cut off a small layer on the top of your bread, and that's going to allow you to cut out the center of your bowl. Save that top. And then you're going to take your knife and you're going to cut out the center starting from the edge and go around your bread. And again, you can use that center to make croutons. You definitely don't want to throw it out because that's, good bread. And then you have your bowl and you're ready to fill it with the other portion of that mixture that we made. And so this is just such a great dip. You can add some tortillas on the side. It makes for a great fall dish to serve for guests or for your family. I put the lid back on top. I brushed it with my egg wash. I baked it for 375 for 10 to 12 minutes. And I was good to go. This really went over so well in my home, and it did not last long at all. So I topped with a little bit of sour cream and a little bit of chives, and it was a nice compliment to the Fiesta roll. This is totally optional. You don't have to do this, but it was just nice. And so this really went over well in my home. I want to thank VELVEETA for this treasure chest challenge. It was so much fun. I'm going to put a link to the VELVEETA site below so that you can check out more VELVEETA recipes along with more YouTubers doing this treasure chest challenge. It's so much fun, so definitely go check it out. Again, the link is below, and this is Nikki saying goodbye.